What?
I'm freaking exhausted today.
Yeah.
Can you tell the energy level that we have?
Okay, well, let me intro and then you can explain why you exhausted because I want to hear all the deets. Okay, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devon.
I'm Brittany.
You sleepy girl. Why did you go back to sleep after you dropped her off at the airport?
I did for like maybe an hour. Not long enough. I still only got like 6 hours of sleep, maybe 7.
Was Willow like, what the fuck? Why is my mom awake so early?
Yeah.
She's like, I have to do a puzzle. 4:30
Yeah,
in the
that was
morning.
really weird. Like, I took her to go potty. I left a
That's
puzzle
so
out
funny.
for her. Then when I got home, I fed her breakfast, and then we went back to bed.
She's like,
So
what
she
is
was
happening?
good. But yeah.
Maggie, it's not a competition, but I got 3 awoos while I was there.
From
Me.
just yourself?
2 were from me, 1 was a piece of watermelon. 2
I was
were
going to
from
say,
me.
the watermelon. You fed her the watermelon, or did I?
You did.
No, I
but
did.
That's
two
very
were just
impressive.
me. 2 were just me.
Yeah, I didn't get any, but her mom walked in and then she was doing it nonstop for her mom. And I was like, why don't you just have your mom come over for all your brand jokes?
That would be so good.
That's impressive.
It was really, really cute, though.
Well, you have met her before, right?
I did
Yes.
actually meet her once.
I
Joe was
forgot.
like, you saw her. Yeah, but I acted like it was the first time I saw her. I was like, she's so much smaller than I thought. I was like, oh. But the last time I saw her was like 2 years ago.
Well, she probably remembered you and then she was like, holy shit, you're back. And got excited. So maybe the next time I see her, then she'll give me some of those.
Do you think she remembered me from 2 years ago?
Yeah, my dogs remember people that they barely meet. Like, my family only sees them, like, every 2 years, and they freak the fuck out. Like, they definitely remember them.
That's so funny. Rosie's like that with my dad. She gets like so happy and
That's so
excited
cute.
when he comes. Just like the really like awkward whining.
Aww.
like she's not in pain, but just like you're like, what are you doing? That's like so embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Well, yeah, if you're listening and you haven't put together what we're saying, we've just been missing each other because I was in Arizona, and then me and Devin recorded together. And then Brittany went, and then that was right after I left. And now she's going back, too. And then, well, we'll both be there, technically. But I'll be in Tucson, mostly.
Yeah.
Although I am
And I'll
now
be-
flying out of Phoenix because it was $600 cheaper.
But are you going to be
600.
spending any time in Phoenix?
No. Unfortunately.
So that doesn't really help us.
No, it doesn't really
Yeah.
help us.
I'll be in Desert Mountain, which I don't know how far. up
I
that
literally
is,
have
but-
never heard of that.
I thought you said Desert Ridge.
Yeah, I misspoke. Joe was like, "That's cool that that's 15 minutes away, but we're actually going to Desert Mountain."
What the fuck
I've
is that?
never heard of Desert Mountain. Is that like a resort?
It's like a golfing community.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. It's where his parents live. There's like 4, maybe there's 7 golf courses, or at least there's at least like 4.
What the
think
heck?
there's
So it's
4.
like not even a
I don't
country
know.
club? It's like just multiple golf courses?
It is a country club, but it's like known for golf.
Oh, wow. Don't tell Cameron this.
I
He's gonna
think
wanna
it's by
retire
Desert.
there.
Oh, it's in Carefree.
Carefree.
That's not far from me. It's just the opposite direction. More
Oh.
north.
Yeah.
You should go golf.
Or just lay by the pool.
Or that.
I'm like Joe and his parents are both going to be golfing, and I'll just be by the pool by myself.
Does his
Or
mom
if Devin
golf
comes
too?
up. Yeah. She just started.
That's
When you retire, what else are you going to do?
I know.
Lay
But
by
you
the
know,
pool.
sometimes like those things don't really pan out. Like you don't end up really liking it, but she's really liking it, so I think that's been good.
What's not to, if the weather's nice and you have a good drink, like,
Yeah, it's basically just being outside with a drink or
Yeah.
a book or whatever. That's like fun.
Yeah, but I feel like I'd just rather go outside with a book instead of sweating.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like to just sit in the golf cart. I also like driving the golf cart. It's pretty fun.
I do like driving the golf cart too. That's fun. But I won't be going at all. 0 days.
But that's fun. So you're gonna get like just a lot of alone time.
Yeah, unless I convince Devin to come up.
Oh,
And go to
I'm
the
sure
pool
you
again.
can.
I
Convince her
think
to go
it
to the
might be-
pool.
I think it would be really hard to convince her to come to the pool and read with me.
You think that's a
have our
pretty easy
cocktails.
request.
Just our cocktails and our books, and
Yeah, that
music.
sounds great.
I think it's a pretty good date.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us why you were together.
Devin did her first video shoot with a home builder, which is just like the coolest thing. And they picked Devin for like Devin. Like they
That
found
is
her on
so
YouTube
cool.
and they loved her like perspective and
Wait,
like
first of all, being found on YouTube is really cool.
I know.
This is
so
the year
sick.
of YouTube, guys.
That's
Yeah.
really
Make
cool.
sure you're
though.
all watching my vlogs.
Especially because you decided like 2-3 months ago, you're like, I'm gonna go all in and
Because
like
of
post
you.
vlog every
I was
week.
gonna say, is this not
you
Brit being
helped.
like, you need to every week?
No, I mean, Britt was like, what goals do you want to set for yourself? And I was like, I want to be consistent with YouTube. And she's like, okay, what's something that feels good to start with? And I was like, okay, 2 a month. And then she set the goal for me. Okay, 2 a month. And then check in later. Like, how is that feeling? Can you do 3 a month? And then I just kind of got on a roll with it. You kind of like, you know how you get used to posting every day on Instagram?
Yeah,
You
just
just
like once you're in the routine.
Figure it out. Yeah.
And then if you're posting the weekend, is it just like that weekend before? And then you film the next
Yeah,
one?
every once in a while I have to like catch up and like take a week off because I like to post every weekend because I want to give people something to watch and listen to on the weekends.
Love that.
But yeah, every once in a while I'll be like, oh shit, I'm filming this weekend, so I don't have something yet.
Yeah. Wait, so what did you have to do? Like, are you posting this?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like fully figured out yet. Like if I'm going to insert it into one of my vlogs or if I'm going to post it as a thing on its own, but they are for the builders. They have like multiple home builders in this brand. They're starting a YouTube channel because like their social media, what was her title technically?
She's technically a
director.
social media manager.
Social media or director of social media, I think.
Yeah.
She is a YouTuber and she kind of like got burnt out on YouTube and wanted to get a real job, I guess. She also worked for House Labs. She
Wow.
did
Does she
social
live in
media.
Phoenix?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I kind of think she does live in Phoenix.
I'm not
honestly
sure.
don't remember.
But anyways, yeah, she was like, okay, well, let's start a series where like they have like pillars that are like mental health, beauty, and
They have
style.
fashion, and then they also have fitness and
Oh,
cooking.
fitness,
Yeah,
yes.
fitness and cooking.
They're going to start cooking.
Cool.
But anyways, yeah, so they're going to have like little videos that showcase the homes, but like with
With
people
each of those.
living in them.
But the cool thing is that
Cool.
since her bosses and stuff are like, we want you to basically replicate what you did with your channel and how you grew it to do it for our channel. And so in the video, like they're like really focusing on like how can these tips be beneficial and like not making it about like, oh, in this woodside home, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah, blah all woodside.
Yeah.
They're like,
I only had to mention the natural light.
yeah.
That's the only thing I had to like weave in there.
That's cool.
So it's not like overly ad heavy. So like it's actually something that people want to watch.
Whoa, I feel like no other. Well, first of all, you don't really feel about like home building brands like doing anything like this ever.
No.
That's super
The
cool.
houses were sick though. Like
Are you gonna get a new house out of this?
If they build in
love for you to
this
go.
area,
yeah,
Was it far away?
Queen
yeah, so far
Creek.
away.
Oh,
Do you know where
Whoa.
that is? It's
Yeah.
We
like,
might as well have. We were halfway to Tucson,
oh yeah. That's crazy.
but the houses, like, yeah, it's literally in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. But these model homes are so cool. The backyards are so
They're
like
stunning.
different and like beautiful
Whoa.
for like Arizona.
Uh-huh.
Like they were
Like the
so
landscaping?
creative. They looked like hotel
Yeah.
backyards.
Oh.
And like one of the houses had a casita right off the backyard, and the way that they laid it out was so
Yeah.
different than I've ever seen a casita. It was so cool.
Whoa.
Like-
Did you get to tour like all the different houses?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
walked through them
Fun.
all.
Did you
We
film
just-
in multiple of them, or it was
No,
like
we just
one?
shot in a master bedroom
Cool.
with the bay windows.
Wait, so with great natural light.
With the beautiful natural
I'm
light.
looking for a house with natural light. Bay windows.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed
Me
with
too.
all of the remixes of that. There's one guy who did like a remix of it, and his daughter, I think, was like repeating it, and then she goes, "For mommy, like I'm looking for a man in finance for mommy."
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Cutest thing.
That was so cute. Wait, so like, are you acting like it is your house in the video?
That was something that I think Brittany did a good job of like managing, because at first they were like saying, I love the natural, the director was telling me to say, I love the natural light in my woodside home. And Brittany was like, well, should Devon say something that like this house is inspiring her for her own home, because her followers already know
They know
that
her home.
she doesn't live here.
Yeah.
And so that it was like, it was super well planned and organized, except for when it came down to what the influencers were supposed
the
to
script.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, oh yeah, just come with a few talking points. And then like the director would be like, okay, action. And
But
it
they
was
said
like,
like at the
okay,
my God.
beginning. But at the beginning they were just like, okay, go, just like ramble,
yeah,
and then
talk
we kind
like
of
you're
like
talking.
and we're like,
yeah.
but then afterwards I was like, Dev, don't you like usually outline your videos? Like this is not how you usually do your videos. So we were like, next
Yeah.
time if we do this, like we're gonna have like a full like outline and script and stuff, so that we can just
Yeah.
kind of reference it, and we don't have to use everything, but it can just be like little moments from it to
For sure.
reference.
Because
Yeah,
then
but
will
then,
they
like-
use it for them as well? Like where they'll use clips of you being like, oh, it is your house, because they're using it for
We
their
recorded
own
it
thing?
both ways,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
so
But
it
like,
can,
okay, so
loop
I
everything.
like, I started talking, rambling, and then I would end, and I didn't like, I would just kind of like run out of things to say, and then everybody would be like, okay, why don't you try talking about this, this, and this, and like there would be 3 different people in the room
Dude, there
telling
was
me
so
things
many
to talk
people
about.
in the room, it looked like.
Yeah, and there was a point where like I only took it out on Brittany because she was saying like, well, and then you can start saying this, this, and this, and I was like, I can't hear anything else right now because I know what I want. Like I can only keep like 2.
Well, then they were
subjects in my
starting to
head.
say like really specific sentences for you to repeat.
Oh my God, yes,
And
that
so
was.
we were like, then like people were jumping in after like they gave her the
Yes.
one
Yeah,
sentence.
I'm gonna
and
need
she's
a
like,
teleprompter,
like,
please.
I just need to finish. Let me just record this one sentence and then we can all like
Yeah.
talk again afterwards.
Yeah.
It was just,
Because like that's not how I do my YouTube videos. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't usually talk to camera like that. I used to, but when I did, I would have a whole outline
Yeah.
in front of me that I could look at and be like, okay, then I'm talking about this next, then, and have like
Yeah.
thought starters written out. I had to keep these, like I would get a thought starter and I would have to just try to keep it in my head
Yeah, that's very
for when
hard.
they would say action again. And then
So
they had people telling me more and more things to say, and I was like, I need to do these things that I have in my head, and then we can go
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. How cool. So how long did it take?
The shooting wasn't that long. We got there really early to do like the wardrobe fitting
Yeah.
and pick an outfit.
That's so cool.
I
and
know.
then they had like crafty in the kitchen, so we got to eat lunch and
Oh my
hang out.
god.
Yeah, and then I got ready and they got all set up.
Did somebody
They-
like do your makeup and stuff?
They hired this girl to do. Well, the stylist said that she could do hair and makeup, but
No,
then
she
was
told
like,
them she couldn't.
"I don't know." Oh,
And
they
then
told her to
they
just
were
bring
like,
some
they were
stuff.
like, you can do this, right? And she's like, I'll try my best.
Being a stylist is very different
I
than
know.
being a hair and makeup artist.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm glad you did your own makeup because I don't know how to do makeup."
Well, good.
She was so cool though. She lives
Yeah.
in Phoenix, and her and Dev can hang out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
we got each
That's
other's phone number.
exciting.
Yeah.
So she just does styling for like that company specifically, or she like freelances?
I think
for multiple
freelance. Looking
Yeah,
at her
that's so cool.
Instagram, she seems like really creative and cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I feel like the wardrobe was really fun though. I feel like
Yeah.
everything does take a lot longer though, because like we got there, I told Dev like probably an hour early or hour and a half earlier than we needed to be there. But I'm like happy we did because it took like an hour to like try on things and like decide on the final outfit.
Yeah. Does the girl like? Does she just own all of those clothes, or is she like?
She went out and bought a bunch of stuff because they were like specific about like for me they wanted like casual, comfy, elevated,
Lush.
So yeah, I got to keep these shorts from
Cute.
Free People, little boxers.
That's great.
And then I kept a pair of earrings from Anthropologie and a bracelet on accident. But
slay.
yeah,
Yeah,
the earrings are so
really
cute.
But
so yeah, it was really cool.
it was good also to get there a little early because we could like hear the other girl like doing like.
Oh, there was another girl before.
Yeah, and she was doing
that's
like
really cool.
outfit try on haul type thing.
Cool.
For like different events. So
that is so fun. Was it so fun for you, Britt, of like being
so
on the manager side and getting to like?
Yeah,
I was almost jealous of her at some points because I was like, she gets to like be involved and like, but doesn't actually have to do the shit.
Love that I'm not on the camera right now because I would die.
Yeah, that's really nerve-wracking.
Yeah. It's also just like, but the thing I love about these shoots, I'm realizing, is that it's so cool to see people in their element because like, they, you know how when we're filming and doing stuff, we do everything, but they have like a specific light person. And like when they were setting up the lighting,
the sound person,
they made it look like it was an afternoon sun. Yes. In the bedroom.
We were feeling like the sun was setting and like perfectly coming in the window, and then we're like, oh wait, it's 2:00. Like it felt like it was 7:00, and we were like all getting thrown off by
that is so
the lighting.
Cool.
And then at the end they changed it to do a couple more shots where it just felt like daylight. So that was cool. Also, I got mic'd up with like a mic pack. I had a mic pack on and a little mic.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The mic was hot.
Feel?
It was hot the whole time.
Like genuinely hot?
No, hot just means like it's on.
Like it's on.
Yeah.
So did you have to take it off when you were peeing and shit?
They kept like using all the different
I didn't pee when it was on.
Yeah. I've always thought about that. Like for reality shows and stuff, you're like, can we turn this off for a sec?
I was just watching Remy Cruz's vlog. Her and Alicia went to New York City for YouTube, and they were mic'd up. And Alicia was like, you just have to make sure that when your mic is hot, they can hear everything you're saying. And so then I was like, shit.
Oh my God.
Was the mic on when I was like saying something? Yeah, like I don't remember.
Saying something under your breath.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
I can't remember. But yeah, I'm
sure. But like everyone is like so specialized. Like Devon said, there's like a sound person that's like literally just
like holding the boom on.
Holding the boom above me. That would be the hardest job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was shaking at one point. Like he was holding it with one hand and was like on his phone doing something. And then was like shaking. Like you could see his hand shaking. I was like, oh my God, please do not drop that.
Have you guys ever seen it in TV shows where the boom drops below and you can see it on the camera?
I have not.
I've caught that in Gilmore Girls a couple times just because I've watched it so many times that you start to notice all the mess ups.
That's so goofy.
Yeah, that would be such a hard job.
Cool. I also noticed based on the picture of so many people in the room, like it looked like all boys.
All the
ones in charge were girls.
Oh, that's
except
cool.
for the director was a guy.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so cool. So, like, how long will the video probably be? Is it like a short thing, or like it would be a whole YouTube video?
I think,
probably 10.
I'm not sure actually how she's going to have them edited up. I don't know if mine's going to be its own episode or. I think this is just the pilot. I think everything they're shooting this week is going to be one episode. She said something about a pilot,
I feel like it's
so
like
I don't
this.
know.
It's a pilot, like. All of the episodes are like the pilot
season.
Pilot season
yeah.
versus pilot
makes
episode.
sense.
Because the girl before was also like, thanks so much for watching. Catch you soon.
Oh, that was true. We had to do.
Like by the end, she was like just trying to get the last line in. She like they just kept like changing it up and like she again trying to remember everything and she like had to say it like 30 times. It was just like the worst.
Oh my gosh. And that's also like because when we record things alone, it's like you repeat things so many times, or like if you mess up and you restart and whatnot.
It's
so like just having people watching you like do it all would be very nerve-wracking.
And I'm like a visual person. Like I was almost like I need it written out so I can look at it and see it.
Sure.
That's like with numbers, I cannot memorize a number longer than 4 numbers together. Like I need to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And and then I was getting frustrated, and then like someone leaned, like the guys that were all like there started like talking or something, and it
Like,
just like
while she was saying
distracted
it.
me. Yeah, and I was like, I get distracted
Don't
so
interrupt.
easily. I can't focus. Yeah, I was like,
that was so annoying.
was making me
Well, that's so
frustrated.
cool. I bet they'll learn too, like,
Yeah.
from doing each of them. Like, if you do it again, it will probably be better the next time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
could be, like,
We
write
now
things
know
down.
what to, I would need an outline. And
Yeah.
but also it's cool because she's like really open to, I mean, like, if you have any ideas for mental health, let us know, and then we would probably have the creative freedom to like, now that we know what's going on.
Yeah. And same thing, we were like, they like the idea of like Devon cooking for one type of videos, and ideas.
Or dog parent video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet Willow would be like cute doing that, just walking around in the house.
I could pay Logan to come as Willow's assistant.
Yeah.
You just make sure, keep Willow with you.
Yeah, because
It
then if
was-
you don't have to control her, like, have somebody else do it.
It was also funny too, because like on the bed, this is like a girl thing, I think. Like, it was obviously a bunch of guys, so there was like little things that I don't think that they would catch as much. And so like when she was laying down, like the pants were kind of like awkward, and like so we were just trying to like, I was trying to keep in my place, but also just be like, Devin, can you put your leg up, or like, can you like don't lean this way, don't like go back like this, like make sure your head's like out.
Yeah.
She had to, like, lean,
I was
lean
like,
back
don't
for
let
a
me
bit.
have a double chin.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you're just laying in bed, like,
Yeah,
it's not a great angle.
Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, you need to sit up more, and then they like had to readjust the camera, and I was like, sorry, but like that wasn't
Sorry,
gonna
but it
work.
looks better.
It wasn't gonna work for her.
That's so cool. How exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Love that.
It's exactly like what I manifested for myself this year. Like, that's the
Literally.
elevation in my career that I was looking for, I think.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. And then just the more you do it, like, the more opportunities that'll come
Yeah, I hope so.
similarly.
Yeah, it was
I feel like
perfect.
it's
What are you
interesting
rubbing
seeing-
on your forehead?
It was just itchy.
Oh,
I don't know. It was like a spot in my head.
I thought you were putting something on.
No, my head is itchy. I don't know. My skin is dry.
From Arizona.
Colorado's just as dry.
I know.
She didn't have her
Colorado is just
humidifier in
dry.
my guest room, though.
Did it feel dry?
Not that dry, but I was just dry. I don't know.
That's funny.
But I tried all the Billy products that Devin had,
Mm-hmm.
and my legs are so soft.
Oh.
You had to bounce.
Billy shaving cream.
Yeah, the Billy shaving cream.
The shaving cream is really good.
Yeah,
I
it's like a
freaking
lotion
lost my
almost.
my razor on this trip. My laser. I can't
The
find
like
it.
handle, that sucks.
Yeah, like the whole thing.
You're just like,
I think I
They
might
have some
left
new
it in the
cute
Airbnb.
colors.
Ooh,
I think I might get one now.
I love
should.
them.
Can you get it off Amazon?
no,
I think you
I don't-
can.
I don't think so.
You should just get it on their website and do the subscription so that they just send you razors.
Oh, I was
You
just
know, so
like,
you
Oh my
know when
god,
to
that's what I
change
should do. I
them.
have extra heads, so I can just like my legs have just been hairy. the
Yeah,
last
you can
3
just
days.
hold on to the little.
Yeah,
I have tried that before.
I've definitely done that.
When
several
desperate times call for desperate measures.
times.
But wait, do they send just you heads, or do they send you a whole new like handle every time?
They just send you
The
heads.
heads.
Okay.
But I also love them because like the new tile that we have in the bathroom is like such thin little bars because it's like that fake wood. And my other like none of the other razor things that you stick on the shower would stick because they're too wide. But their holder thing is like really small where it fits
Yeah.
in the thing, so it actually stays on.
That's really nice. I need that.
They
But I
should
think
be a
I also
sponsor
really
of our
need to-
podcast.
I know, it would be nice. Do they sponsor
They
any
should.
pods?
Yeah,
That's how I first heard about them.
Really?
I feel like less
I think-
now, but
What was that one? What was like almost like the first razor blade to like dive into influencer marketing that everyone fucking used?
um,
Was it Billy?
I think it was
No.
Billy.
I thought there was
Well, there's
one
Billy.
other
There's a
one.
boy one though too.
I thought there was a girl one,
Manscaped.
different girl one.
Manscaped.
it's something like that. I do remember people. Oh, Shave Club, Dollar Shave Club.
Athena too. A Dollar Shave Club was huge podcasting.
Women's.
Athena is like the up and coming.
I swear
I
it was
thought
something
Athena was
else, and then
before
Billy
Billy.
took over.
Dollar Shave Club
Yours-
was definitely huge.
I feel like if I had heard of Athena Club before Billy, I would have started using it just because I would have, I was just wanting to use whatever was cool.
Yeah. I think they
Maybe-
don't have like cute colors and stuff, but maybe I'm wrong.
They don't. They look kind of more like Billy is like fun and colorful and cute, and Athena Club is
Yeah.
kind of more like serious.
There's also Flamingo, but
Oh yeah.
I don't think they were ever really like podcast
Maybe
heavy.
It is Billy. But all the like OG blogger girls, I feel like we're using them,
Maybe.
right? I don't know.
I
I just remember there was a shit ton of ads. Like, they were always promoting them. I was like, what are they paying them to do this?
I think Dollar Shave
You're-
Club was like
Forever talking. They were like
Everywhere.
always talking about their razors. I was like, how much can you talk about a razor? Like, this is kind of a lot of
I
content.
mean,
about
you
razors.
do use it. I use my razor every day. That is like a product you use very frequently.
it's true, and it's important. It needs to work good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious because you guys don't have like any issues shaving. It might just be my skin, but
Well, I will say the
What?
Billy razor was giving me a little rashes. But when I don't use shaving cream, because I'm very much I don't use shaving cream every single time.
Me
If I do
either.
use shaving cream, then it's great.
huh?
And their shaving cream is really good.
No, their shaving cream was like, I think what probably made my legs so soft.
Yeah.
But the razor,
if
like,
you
I
use
don't
the
know.
lotion too.
I feel like the razor had like good surface area.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know how some razors just are, it's just so small.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
that.
So I think that's one of the things I really liked because I felt like it was easier to get my entire leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it had I like that Venus, I think it is, like where it has like the soap on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it has something.
Do you guys
like,
remember
next
the
to it.
big one that had like a big
Yes.
thing of soap? I had that one
Yes.
at one point. I used to have tried like
They were
there were
kinda
so
gross.
many. Yeah, they
You
would
think
get
about it.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully know what you're talking about. Why did all of those have such good commercials too? Like all the
Those were like,
razors.
I mean, yeah, you don't really see razor commercials anymore, but back in the day, razors
really
were
see
like cell
commercials.
phones.
Yeah.
True. There's like, what razor and what cell phone do you have?
The razor.
You guys talked about razors that much? Like, when
Yeah.
you were
No, it was just like a cool like way
like when
to
you first started shaving type of question.
Yeah, and
Because
there
it
were
was
so
so
many different
exciting when
kinds.
you started shaving.
Yeah.
Like I was
there
so
was that
excited.
Venus one, there was that big fat one. There were just so many.
Yeah.
And then Venus has like several different kinds.
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
The blue and purple one.
Yeah.
I mean, the
the one
blue
I had.
and green.
Purple.
I think blue and purple.
And then there's one that's like purple.
Yes, with like the jelly little flat. Like things
Comment
like that,
down
yeah.
below which razor you use.
We did. Yeah.
Let us know.
Anyway.
We'll send this whole clip to Billy to be like, we love you, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
Do the hearts again.
Oh yeah. There on the BFFs podcast with like Dave and Bree and them.
Yes, I was gonna tell you that.
They like it was really funny because on the podcast Dave was the only one who saw the thumbs up.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
everyone else was like, even the producer like missed it when they were doing it. And so he was like, he thought he was like crazy. 'cause
Dude,
no
I
one
was
else
like,
saw
they
it.
use Riverside. Like,
I know.
That's
I was
cool.
like, they could use Zoom too, I guess, because Zoom has the
Zoom
like,
audio
true.
is shit.
That would be
though, so they
shitty,
probably use
though.
Riverside.
I don't. But do you think the Zoom is bad? If does it do it right now?
it should.
Um,
It was just so funny. He's like, I just saw a thumbs up. What was that? Like, and they were like, what? You didn't see anything.
he was like, "Did you record my screen?" They were like, "You're fucking crazy." No.
I wish mine would do it.
I really
I
don't,
don't
know
know
why.
why the
I think we
function
need to
is not working
change
right now.
some setting.
I don't know. The heart works.
Not for
Yeah.
me.
Why?
I think we
Try
need
it.
to change our setting. Nope.
No love.
Not working.
We have a topic today, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm scared.
Okay.
I'm scared of it.
Devin's real scared of this topic because we've received some hate in the past regarding today we're gonna be talking about religion. But
I don't know why.
because it's an interesting topic and because everybody has their own different experiences with religion. We're not educating you on religion right now or the Bible or anything like that. We're just sharing our own personal experiences. And
Or we're not saying what's right or wrong either, because I
No.
can believe one thing and that I'm allowed to believe that.
facts, and
Yeah,
we're
or
not
not
judging
believe
anybody for their own personal opinions or whatever you believe or think. We're very accepting of everyone, actually, and non-judgmental.
Emphasis on like the experience, because I think like there are so many different experiences. I think I've had so many different experiences like growing up in different churches and different things. And that has like shaped a lot of my perspective, instead of like I still like love the idea of like Christianity and religion. It's just different in the actual like practice experience of it.
Exactly.
I felt God in a Chili's.
What? Is that from a line from something?
Yes.
The Office.
Oh.
That's my
Love that.
religious experience. I felt God in this Chili's tonight.
That would be a religious experience. Okay, should we start with how we grew up?
Yes. Maggie, you go first.
Okay. I think when I was born, my parents were like Baptist, and honestly, I don't know the difference between like Baptists and like the different aspects, like the different subtypes of Christianity. But so I think my mom was definitely always more so religious, and my dad, I think he grew up Catholic, but I don't think he like went to church every Sunday or anything like that. And then I think like a lot of the time, like when I watch an old home video, I remember seeing my dad like took me to the zoo when my mom went to the church with my brother and sister. So I think a lot of the times when I was young, it was like they would go every week, but like my dad wouldn't go. And then maybe I wouldn't go, or I'd go sometimes. And then eventually like we tried out different churches and whatnot. I went to Sunday school like sometimes, but I don't really remember ever like liking it ever when I was little. Like the typical like go to Sunday school while your parents are in church. Like I always remember being like I wanted to stay with my parents and go to the big church or whatever. And then
Were you shy or
yeah.
because you were, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like I didn't go with any of my school friends or whatever at that point. So I think I was just shy and didn't want to be with other people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I think in like second grade, I started Awana, that like weekly Christian like kids group where you would like go to a church on Wednesdays. And
What's
then I really
Awana?
liked that.
Is it like-
literally
I thought
no
you were
idea what it
talking about like
stands
the
for.
movie
What is the movie?
Moana.
Oh, Moana. Did you see
That
the
was a
pictures of the
religious
live
experience
action?
for me.
Awana?
No.
Yeah,
Is it like
AWANA.
okay, let's see this.
Does it say what it stands for?
I
I assume it stands for something.
don't know. I'm
It's
just
not
looking.
coming out.
It's
If I start getting these ads, I'm gonna be annoyed.
For Awana Kids Club.
What is Awana?
I'm seeing Hawaii things.
For more than 7 decades, the Lord has used the ministry of Awana to reach kids, equip leaders, and change the world. The unchanging truth of the gospel drives the same vision we've held all these years to reach children in every corner of the globe, as we walk boldly into the future and continue to be used by God to help change the world.
Okay, great. So no idea what it stands for, but it would be on Wednesdays. And I loved that because that was with my friends from school. So it was like getting to hang out with them extra
Was it at
on a
your
weekday.
church or was it like at a different church?
I feel like at that time, I don't know, maybe my mom could give me what she feels at the time, but from my memory, we like hopped between like 3 different churches, and this was at one of them. And my grandpa worked in the kitchen at a different church, so like we'd go there a lot of the time. because he like worked there. But I don't know. I feel like we'd hop around between like 2 or 3, and I would go to this one on the Wednesdays. And it would be like we'd memorize verses, and you get like prizes when you memorize verses, and like we'd play games, and it'd be just fun. It'd just be like a fun hangout with friends. And then in middle school, we like convinced more of our friends to join it, and then it was really just like a friend hangout every week. Like, and I loved that a lot. And I didn't really experience like the negative sides of anything in elementary school or middle school, except I did start to feel, I think that's like, I don't know if it's where my anxiety came from, but now looking back, like I can see a lot of the anxiety that I had like as a little, like when I was only like 8 years old, 7 years old, where I felt like I needed to like pray for every family member, or like if I didn't do things correctly or a certain way, then I would like go to hell, or that the people around me would go to hell, sort of thing. Like
I really felt like the sinning thing was like a big like emphasis. Like if you sin, like I understand to some degree, like you have to put it in simple terms that kids can understand. But I think I was like,
why do we have to scare kids like that when they're
but like
just kids?
I don't think it's meant to fully scare kids, but it's meant to like give them context. They don't understand, like kids I don't think can grasp the like complexities of like sinning and hell and all these things, whatever, and like develop their own beliefs. So they start with like
they try
sinning
to put in
equals
simple
bad.
terms.
And I think
then,
that
like,
adults don't realize how much that affects kids because everything is so scary to them.
I don't
That's
think...
like when you do like when you train dogs with loud sounds or something. Like I think that's why Willow is so afraid of loud sounds, because her like first trainer had this bag with a chain in it, and she would like throw it at the ground when Willow was like barking, and that scared her, and now she's like just afraid of loud sounds.
No, that is
because we didn't realize
crazy.
that like that was going to impact her so much, you know.
And I think like then
It's
what
negative reinforcement.
Is there's like a lot of stories that are told and like from the Bible and stuff, and so you start with like this like concept of like sinning equals bad, and then you hear these stories where people are sinning, and then you associate again like, oh my god, this is like horrible, like I can't believe this is the thing. And then like if you don't really talk about it with your parents, like I never really talked about stuff like afterwards with my parents. Like it was always just like in Sunday school, and then like I'd come home and like think about it to myself,
just absorb it. Yeah, that's very true.
And I think that's also another thing, because your parents can't kind of like help write you it like and make you understand it.
And for most things, like church-wise, like my parents weren't hearing it, like you're saying. Like it would always be a separate, like Sunday school or after school. Like they wouldn't ever be around for any of those like lessons that we were being taught.
Yeah.
To stay on the topic of fear, my dad was raised Catholic, and he grew up being so terrified that he can't sleep of the devil. He was afraid that the devil was going to like show up in his bedroom.
Same.
And yeah, so I think that like really pushed him. Like, yeah, it makes it very unattractive too.
In that same time, do you remember, like, I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like it was in the same time period of like me being scared of like things that were happening
vampires.
At church.
Oh
no, it's gonna be even worse.
I was scared of vampires as well.
Me too.
I was
Twilight.
worried that Saddam Hussein was in my like house,
Bro. Wait,
that when he was hiding.
That's so funny.
This was
American
all at the same
experience.
time. That is a very American.
Because I think it was like 4th grade for me when like the war started and
Bin
like, they
Laden's
lost
in my
Saddam
closet.
Hussein and everything, and I was like, what the fuck if he's hiding in like my parents' walk-in closet or something?
Because everyone would talk about just how they couldn't find him and he was hiding somewhere. She'd be like, where the
My
fuck
context was like, where is he? And then I was also very nervous that my mom would be shipped off to the war. I don't think my dad was a citizen yet, so I knew that he was safe. But I was
that your
worried my
mom would
get
be.
drafted
That's
to the
very
war.
interesting. I don't think I
Yes.
ever had that fear specifically. But I was
Me either.
Maybe,
But maybe
slightly.
this also gives a lot of context that like, I was like a very like influenced.
That's how a lot
Like
of kids'
I wanted
brains
to
work.
be like very good. I wanted
Well,
things
that's
to be good.
all-
And I was like very influenced by like fear things.
Yeah, I think all kids
Yeah.
like almost act that way because it's like everything is good until there's bad things happening, and then you're like, wait,
But
what?
actually,
And
that's a
then you
really
feel
good point.
unsafe.
everything is really good or bad. Like the gray area doesn't start to form until like you're older. Like you can't really understand that gray period where, because that was the one thing that like I struggled with so much, because like a lot of my friends, like I went to public school and then like I would go to the Wednesday night thing and I would go to Sunday school and I loved it, but my friends didn't cross over into it from school.
Did you see separate
so
friend
it was like
groups?
fully separate.
Yeah, so I had completely separate friend groups, and like there was people from like different schools, different cities, like within my area. And so yeah, it was very siloed. But like I was worried about all my friends that like didn't go to church. I was like, are they going to hell? Like that was like all my thought process of like, oh my God, like I have to save, like they would tell you have to save people. And
Literally, like they tell you
that's
that.
that's
Some
a lot
of
to
that
put on my
is
shoulders.
because kids take everything so literally.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of those concepts are just way too hard for kids to actually grasp.
Yeah. I wonder if they've changed. I would like hope that they kind of change Sunday school now, because maybe they have like a lot
I'm sure
more
there are
content.
churches that are a lot more.
When my nephew was in
liberal or
daycare,
whatever.
because he went to like a Christian daycare at the same church that I'm talking about that I went to one at. He was 2, and they made them like wash their hands of sin. Like they told them that they were like full of sin and that they needed to like wash their hands. Sin of it. My sister was like, "What the fuck? Like this is not okay."
Did you pull her kid out?
No, because it's free. Well, it's not free, but it's like one of the cheaper daycares. So she like you gotta pick daycare sometimes based on what's cheap and not is like
What's
exactly what you
affordable,
want them
yeah.
to learn.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, but yeah, like I think they still do a lot of those things depending on the church.
Yeah.
That is, so when I was growing up, we like, I don't remember fully from like before 4 years old. We went to like different churches. We were like doing stuff. I think my parents found like religion together as like a way to find more community. So like, because my parents moved from Canada to the US, and I don't know if they went to church together in Canada as much, but they definitely like when they came to the US, it was like a really easy way for people to meet.
Yeah.
So like I think my mom did like play groups, like mom play groups, and then she also did like stuff with the church to like just find community and build community and stuff.
That's super
So we
interesting
moved
to like find it
Oklahoma.
together, like versus growing up in it almost.
Yeah. And then
So your parents
like,
didn't go to church growing up?
my dad like sang in a church choir to make money, but like
He can sing.
that was, yeah, I guess when he was younger. I think maybe he can still sing. I don't know.
Oh my god.
He doesn't.
I can't wait to
sing,
meet your dad.
like, regularly. Yeah,
Gotta schedule that.
he's so fun. He's the best. But yeah, so they moved around a lot, and then I remember like going to a different church like when we first moved to Michigan, and it was like much more like uptight and much more formal. I still like made some friends, but like it was definitely kind of cliquey in a way. Like there was a lot of families that were like really connected together and like knew each other for like a really long time. So I think it was like harder to like make more friends. And then we started going to a different like Wednesday night youth group thing. And then our family friends went to the church on Sunday as well as the youth group on Wednesday. And then we started going to the church as well. And I remember that was like a big change because it was much more like, it was less like stuffy and less like formal and less, I don't know.
Like you didn't have to dress up and stuff beforehand.
Yeah, you definitely didn't have to dress up as much. Like it wasn't like so dark. I just remember the other place being like so dark and not very like
interesting.
cheery. And then just there was like more kind of like games and like chill things versus like the other place we would like just read like a parable or something and then like leave.
Yeah.
Versus like this one, we would like play games together, like do crafts and activities and things like that. So it was more like non-denominational too, which I thought was like just kind of more broad and accepting of like other ideas and thoughts and things like that.
That sounds cool.
So I really liked that part of it. I had like some of my best guy friends are still like, I met them from the church. Like
Oh,
and we
interesting.
still keep in touch today. Like, my dad's made some of his really good friends through that church. I feel like a lot of them have kind of like branched away from it, but I think there's like so many good things that have come from it, from that aspect of it. But I still think like some of the principles of like how we were taught like just gave me a lot of like issues in terms of like anxiety and like performative things. Like, I really thought I just had to be good and like get the check mark of approval all the time. And that
Yeah.
was like really hard because that was like already my life, like normally, like just being kind of the oldest, like that was my
Yeah, already
outside of the
what you're
church
doing.
life. So it was like almost reinforced in the church because it was almost like that was the concept that I grasped from, you need to be good
That's kind
and
of
you need to
the
do
main
good things in
concept, I
order to be
guess.
good. Yeah.
It's interesting your personality type, how much those things will like
Yeah.
go back on you. It's like for Maggie, it was like this OCD thing of like, if I'm not praying, then everyone's going to die or get sick or whatever. And Brittany, it's like, oh, I need to be perfect. And if not, I'm not going to heaven or whatever.
I definitely
it was,
felt the
but-
good thing too, because it felt like I just remember at a certain probably in elementary school too, of the whole like you need to believe that Jesus died for your sins to get into heaven or
Yes.
whatever. And I would just be so concerned that I was doing that wrong. Like, what do I need to
Me
do
too.
correctly to be able, like,
Yes.
to accomplish that? Like, do I just need to say out loud, like, I believe that Jesus died for my sins, or like,
But
what
But you remember,
qualifies
like, every
that?
time they would
Probably.
like say that in church, like, you know, pray this prayer with us today if you want to like be saved
Yes.
from your sins. And I was like, okay, I'll just say this again just in case, like, you know, just make sure I'm like gonna get
Just in
into
case you didn't
heaven.
hear.
Did you get
Yeah.
baptized?
I got baptized as a baby, and then I think I might have gotten baptized twice actually, because I was like, I don't know if I'm like in.
I don't know if that one was good enough.
I don't-
I gotta do it again.
Yeah, I can't remember if I did it once or twice when I was older. At
Well,
least
'cause I
once,
think-
though, I remember it.
Well, like when you're Catholic, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you get baptized as a baby when you're Catholic, and then like I was like dedicated when I was a baby. Like I think it's like your parents dedicating you
Yeah.
to the church of like deciding that they're going to teach you that, and then when you're old enough to like make the decision to get baptized on your own, then you get fully baptized. But I was always so fucking scared of doing it in front of everybody. Like I never got
Yeah.
baptized at all, because one, I was scared of like, do I even believe this? And then two, of like, I gotta go in front of the whole fucking church and
Yeah.
have this happen. Like, no. But my mom was always very good about like being like, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, and like you can get baptized at any point in your life, like just because
Yeah.
these people your age are, or like a lot of your friends are, or whatever, you don't need to. And same with taking communion, because that was something like once you're a little older and like in the big church, then you start doing. And my mom was always like, you don't have to, like you can wait until you fully understand what it means or fully believe it. So I like that she did that, at least, because I probably would have. And
I just thought I would-
Fuck, I think my
I
sister's
remember-
home.
Huh?
I think my sister's home.
Oh.
do it a pause because I can pee.
Okay.
Do you want to stay out here?
Yeah, I am also out here because like my guest bed is still transformed to the
Oh,
king
bed.
that Brittany was sleeping
It was
in.
a
It's a mess.
Damn, it turns into a king.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to I was talking to Joe about last night. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's at least a queen bed. Like, it's
Wait,
massive.
whoa! I
It
thought
Yeah,
was
my
like
queen
uncomfortable.
sheets don't fit on it. I had to get separate sheets for it.
Oh,
It's so nice. It was very comfy.
that's crazy.
We just like totally derailed whatever we were saying.
But
Oh,
I think, like,
babies.
yeah, but I think like there's just so much of like, I also like going into high school, there was also a lot of like, you can't have sex before marriage. Like, otherwise you are like breaking the law.
You will die.
Yeah, it was like such a
You will get
bad
chlamydia
thing.
and then you will die.
Like, and that was, I think, a really, really hard thing to grasp and like feel okay about, because I was like, this is like a natural thing that you're gonna just want to do in high school. Like,
Yeah, you're like, I was horny though.
yeah, it's like, okay, so like you're just supposed to like in every context was like, it's bad to have
like
sex.
these
It's bad to-
feelings that are like from
Yeah,
the devil, almost,
are just
like that you
normal.
don't want to.
It's
So it was, like-
suppressing every natural human
Yes.
instinct, really.
So I think that was really harmful for me because that was like a really
It causes you to have a lot of sexual shame and like
a lot
like
of
even
sexual
like
shame.
masturbating and stuff. Like I never would ever even contemplate doing it because I was like, I will go to hell.
Yeah, it's shame around things that are normal and should be normal. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And
human
feel
nature.
okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that definitely took me like a while to get over.
Yeah, I totally feel like that. I also feel like in like the elementary school time, I remember like always asking them questions about things. Like I'd be so curious of like, well, one, I'd be like, why is this the like I was born into this church, right? And I'm like, why is
What
this
about
one
the
the right
people?
one?
Yeah, exactly. What about
had
the
the
people in
same
Africa? What
question.
about the people in India? What about the people who are Jewish? What about the people who are Muslim? Like that doesn't make sense. So
doesn't
who's
make
right
sense.
then?
And people, they wouldn't ever be able to give me an answer because they would be like, well, the people who haven't heard about Christianity yet are going to be given grace. If like, when I'd say like the random people in Africa, they'd be like, well, if they don't know about God and whatnot, they'll be given the grace because they're not aware. But once we like educate people and we tell these other religions and then they still choose not to, then they'll go to hell or whatever. And I'd be like, what? Like, I don't
But then
understand.
they have their own religion and they believe the exact same thing. So why do we think that we're the right ones and they're wrong?
Well, that's like
Exactly.
I think such a complex thing because I think like as I've gotten older, that has become my belief system is like I personally believe in God and like I have like my relationship with him and all of that, but like I also believe that someone who's Jewish, like we're all going to the same place and like we are just practicing these things in different ways.
Yeah.
Same.
And like but that's been like something that like has taken probably like 10 years for me to kind of develop and
For sure. Same. And
Get
even other
to.
things of like Noah's Ark, I'd be like, how did the animals all get along?
Well, like
on
when
the
you
boat?
take these
Like,
things all literally when you're a kid.
yeah. I'd be like the lions
But what
didn't
about
eat
the lions
the
and the
deer.
sheep? Like, aren't they friends? How are they friends?
Yeah, and they would be like, they're under God. So like at the time they weren't wanting to eat each other. And I'd be like, what? This makes no sense. Like, yeah, never got answers.
I also thought it was like really
They don't know
difficult
either.
to like. There was such a big pressure, at least for my church, on like saving people.
Yes.
Like you should bring someone from school to youth group, and we can like help save them. And I was like, that's just like a lot of pressure to like make somebody do this stuff.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're going to school and then you have Mormon friends and you have friends of all different religions and you're like, wait, your family's telling you that yours is right and then mine's telling me that mine is right, but I'm supposed to like convince you to come with me and like also go against your parents and your family in a way of like,
I know that's like
join
really
mine
dangerous.
instead. Yeah.
I think that's a
up.
big deconstructor of faith for people.
Yeah, I think
Also,
so.
it just like my brain, I physically cannot believe that any of that is real. Like, I wish I could. The one thing that I do love about church is the community that it gives you. Like, how nice would it be just to be able to go to church and like you have all that, your faith in common with all these people, and you can make friends or people meet their like significant others and stuff. But I could never, my brain will not allow me to like find that like a realistic thing to do or believe in.
And it's known, like, scientifically, it is a thing of, like, people literally live longer if you're either fully
have
believing
faith.
one religion and, like,
if you
whatever, or, like, the opposite, where you're
I
just,
don't-
like, fully atheist and don't believe, like, as long as you're certain
I
in
don't
whatever
understand
belief.
how that makes any sense, honestly.
I think it's
but-
probably the stress of, like, going back and forth, or, like...
But I'm not going back and forth. Like, I know, like, personally for me, I believe that there's something greater than us, and I kind of look at it as the universe. And I would love to believe that, like, the movie Soul is, like, what we do.
I don't think I saw Soul.
It's basically, like, we have all, like, our souls all live in this, like, heaven, I guess you could say. And you get to pick which body you go into, and then you're born, and then you live the life, and then you go back up, and then you get to choose again
love that.
the life you want to live. It's a really cute movie, and I like those types of stories, but I don't like anything that's like so rigid and matter of fact because nobody actually knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like that idea too, that it's like taking the rigidity and the matter of factness out of it. I like that like concept because I think that's really helpful to like make it your own and like make
that's
it
kind of what
feel
I'm doing.
like really good to you. Because ultimately I think there was probably a sense of like relief like when I was praying to for things or I don't know. And I still pray. Like
Yeah,
but
I
it's
do
not,
too.
like,
I manifest or when something's really bad, like it's just like in
Yeah.
my nature to be like, oh, please, like
yeah,
make me
for
feel
sure.
better or whatever, But
Yeah. But I think that there was like an element of that, but I think now it's like there's a way to like almost co-create it versus like it's in God's hands and like he's just that was another big concept for me. God's like deciding everything for me and like whether I'm like worthy of it or not.
And like he has
So,
the
like,
plan already laid out for your
yeah,
whole
and I
life.
think like but now I'm like more of the mindset that like I can pray for something, but then I can co-create it with God and like we are working towards the same thing versus like I just have to throw my hands up and be like, hopefully it comes. Like, do you know
Jesus,
that
take
like
the wheel.
story that like this
Jesus.
guy's like on a stranded island or something? What?
Oh, and he
I
sends
said,
a
Jesus,
boat
take
and
the
he sends
wheel.
a
Oh,
car
yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
that one.
he sends like the boat, the like helicopter and like I don't know.
Yeah, and
Like
he's like,
the
no,
flying plane.
God's gonna come for me.
Yeah, God's gonna come save me. And he's like,
Oh yeah.
God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I fucking tried. Like, I gave
Yeah,
you
I do
three
like that.
options.
You fucking idiot.
So
See,
I
though,
think
that's the problem when they take it way too literally.
yes, yes. So that's why I think the co-creation piece of it is like a really nice concept.
Yeah, because that also screwed me up of the praying thing of like, then when bad things happen to people
Yes,
and they pray and it's like, well, that's just the way that it was like
Exactly.
meant to be or whatever. And it's like, okay, they were supposed to die, but then your family member was supposed to be fine. Like it just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense in
You
that
know
way.
what else bothers me is when like an athlete who has worked their ass off to be in the position that they are and like say they win the Super Bowl or something and they're like, the God I believe in is great. He, like, but why did you get to do that? And like everybody
Yeah,
else
it makes
is like there are
it's
people
putting
like
yourself
suffering.
on a pedestal.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think they see it that way. But it's like, what makes you so special?
Yeah, I
think
didn't
that,
get
like
that
in
either.
that circumstance, the way I always see that is more that like they are not taking it like that they did it all. Like they're kind of giving it like
Yeah, and that's the
You know
other
what I mean?
thing.
I
Like,
think
take
it's
the
more-
credit. You did this.
yeah, but I think it's kind of a nice thing to some degree because it's like you're not like owning it 100%, You're not like I don't know.
Yeah, they got to own it.
Yeah.
But
It'd be weird if someone was like, I fucking earned this myself. Like it's no one else but me. Like
well, I don't know. That's one of the things that like my dad has instilled into me because my dad's atheist and he gets really annoyed when people say things like that. And so like I'm much more open-minded. Like
yeah.
I want you to believe in what you believe in and that's great as long as you're not harming anyone.
Yeah.
But my dad, like, if I'm sitting next to him watching someone give a speech like that and they're like, thank God is great. God gave this to me. Like, and I'm sitting next to my dad. I'm just like, like, I know that my dad is like going to say something or like do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
then
like, can't you just let people say what they want to say without having it be bothersome to you?
Yeah, and my opinion or my beliefs now, I just feel like that's all like the same. Like if people are like, oh, the universe put me in this position, or like that's the way that it was meant to be, or God did, or
Yeah.
Jesus, or like all the religions. I also took a religion class in college, and it was just really crazy of just how much everything is the same. Like it's
Yeah.
they're
Same
so
themes.
so similar. It's just like very slight differences. And I think also like with the war and everything, like when we were young, there was a lot of shit on Islamic
war?
people.
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the wars really, but like where it would be negative of like the Quran tells them to kill people and tells them to do all these things. And then it's like you actually learn about it and it's like, no, it's actually
are the
not saying that
extremists.
whatsoever. Yeah, like just the same as there's extremists in
Westboro
Christianity.
Baptist Church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the main points of like the base of all the religions are really just like be kind, be non-judgmental, be loving.
Some problems with like religion, especially like those types of religion as like not women not having any rights and stuff.
Well, that's also where I think like it's interpreted that
that's what I was
way
gonna
of
say,
like
too.
the Bible. I hated that too, of like even just with Adam and Eve, of like that Eve was created from Adam's rib or whatever, and like that the woman was made to like support the man and all. Like I don't like that, and like that
I
women
don't like
can't
the
be pastors.
interpretation and like abuse of power through religion.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's religion. I think it's people abusing their power
It's
and trying to
people.
mask it with religion.
But religion is people. Like, it
But
was created by people.
But that's why I think that it's like different. I think like that's where like sometimes as amazing as the churches can be, like if you're in the wrong one, like you can just be like brainwashed into stuff that like doesn't actually hold up.
Yeah.
You know?
And that could be harmful.
Yeah. And that's where I think like that's where they are using it as a tool, even though it's a really good like thing. It also could be like used to be bad because people are just going to like take one sentence out of context and be like, this is in the Bible.
You can interpret it so many different ways.
Yeah.
I just texted my mom because I have this specific memory of my mom taking me to Sunday school and like dropping me off. And I think I went like a couple of times. I just
Because was
texted
your
her-
mom going to church?
No. I said, do you remember taking me to Sunday school and dropping me off there one time? And she said, yeah, I think so, LOL. And I said, do you know why? And she said, not really sure.
Okay.
She said, maybe it will come to me. So I'm saying, let me know if it does.
Interesting.
But you
That's
know
really
what's
interesting
weird?
of both of your parents not like.
Well, my mom and dad got married in the Catholic Church, but I don't think he like really, he did it for his parents, I think. But like he became strictly atheist, like maybe when I was in middle school or high school.
Was that like weird for you?
I have like a very specific memory of my dad like trying to reconstruct his faith in something. Like we were eating dinner and he was asking me like, somehow we were talking about reincarnation. And like that was kind of where he started, which is maybe where I'm at this point in my life too. He's like, yeah, I believe that, you know, our soul lives again. And like it kind of like, I don't really remember exactly what we talked about, but I remember him believing that and like talking through it with me. But then, you know, the more science he learned and stuff, like he needs evidence.
And there's no
And so
evidence of anything.
Has he looked into Scientology?
What? Are you serious?
I don't know. I actually
I
have no
don't
idea
think
what
Scientology is actually science.
It's a cult.
It's not a science thing.
No.
Oh.
If it was,
Well,
I bet a lot more people would be involved. I would definitely join if it was like, this is what's actually real. That was another thing of like the amount of time that the world existed, like where there was evidence, like I don't remember the exact time framing, but where Christians would be like, the world's only a few thousand years old, and then like where we have the evidence that it's like millions and millions.
Well,
of
that's
years old.
because the Bible was written before we knew all of that information, probably, you know? So
Yeah.
like then like once we start, oh, actually this isn't true.
Yeah, and then I'd also be
This
like,
is
who
true.
are these men just writing this Bible? That's like our main book
Yeah,
of
how do we
all of our
trust them?
beliefs. Like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah. That's also where
Like, if we listen to every person who's like, oh, I talked to God and he told me this, let's live by this fact now. Like,
I
That's
also
like-
think there was this other like concept of people being like the better Christian, or you're more Christian
yeah.
than I am, or like all of these different levels, and it was like a stupid competition that like didn't like you know more Bible verses than me, then that makes you more Christian. Like that's not what that doesn't.
we're all going to the
Yeah.
same place.
So it's like I don't know. I think that was also another thing that I was like stupid about, because it was always like, well, like, because then there would be these like fake conversation and like just drama of like, oh, I think you're like kind of like falling away from God or whatever, and you're like,
oh my God.
It's
I'm
very
just living my
judgmental.
life. It's like,
That
oh
just
my
gave me
God,
goosebumps.
I know. It was like I think it was like such a hard.
Scary.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That was like really
No.
shitty.
One of Taylor Swift's songs kind of
Literally,
goes
that's in my notes.
on Christianity and like
Which
people
one?
like that.
There's a few.
But Daddy, I love him
yeah.
is what I'm referencing. Like, should I look up the lyrics?
Yeah, I had them pulled up.
It's so good. Oh, you have them pulled up?
I did, but I'm not sure if it's still pulled up. It might be on a tab.
It's funny how she's like Sarah's and Hannah's and their Sunday's best. Like, just like.
Yeah, like read that whole verse.
Sarah's and Hannah's and their Sunday's best, clutching their pearls, sighing, what a mess. I just learned these people try to save you because they hate you.
Performing soliloquies that I'll never see.
Yeah, I'll go to the bridge.
Maggie, did you see the excerpt of Dave trying to get the Taylor Swift lyrics?
Yes.
Tell her daddy.
Yeah, I need to listen to the whole episode.
It was very disappointing, but
really, that whole episode? That sucks.
Yeah, she was trying too hard.
I saw people say that she was like flirting with him. I was like, what?
I think she was just trying too hard.
Interesting.
It made me cringy.
Okay, you guys want more lyrics?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down than listen to one more second of all this gripping and moaning. I'll tell you something about my good name. It's mine alone to disgrace. I don't cater to all these vipers dressed in empath's clothing. God save the most judgmental creeps who say they want what's best for me, sanctimoniously performing soliloquies I'll never see, thinking it can change the best of my heart when he touches me. And I don't know. You ain't got to pray for me. I don't know. It's just.
There's this. I saw a TikTok yesterday of this girl who was like, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but like, I don't like that she's bad mouthing Christianity in these songs. And like, imagine just how much better our lives would be like if we had these artists who were like preaching about Jesus and saying how much he'll change your life, and like having these Christian artists mainstream. And a girl stitched it with just the part that's like, you don't need to pray for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so funny. But yeah, so then when I like already had all the anxiety and like questions, and like I felt like nobody was giving me actual answers and to anything I wanted to know. And then in 7th grade, when the same year my parents got divorced and my brother came out as gay, all like literally in a few month time period, maybe the same month. It was all very back to back. And that was also when I went to church group, like camp for the first time as well. I literally learned my parents were getting divorced, left, went to camp, didn't tell anybody that I knew that because I heard them on the phone. And then afterwards I did tell my friend Victoria, and she was like, what?
Did Victoria go to church with you?
Yes. Like we would go to a youth group, and we would go to like the Awana thing and all of those things. But my teacher, so it was like a girls group. There's probably like 10 girls or something that we'd like, we'd go all together, and then you'd separate into like the smaller group, and we'd have like sleepovers, and they would do like, we'd go TP people's houses. I think they'd like ask them in advance, I'm pretty sure, or something. I was like, what?
Can we trash your house?
Who would ever agree to that?
No.
I think they all did it, or because they'd be like, so you'll just clean it up tomorrow, or like we'd have to go back and clean it. I don't even remember that aspect. I don't know. But the leader, I told her, I was like, my brother's gay. Like, I was excited about it. And she was like, what? Like, that's not okay. Like, he's going to go to hell. And I was like, no, he's not. And she was like, no, he will. Like, you need to, like, he's not actually gay. This is just feelings that he's having. Like, he can't act on them. This is coming from the devil. Like, it's not real. Like, you need to convince him that he's not. And then basically after that, I, like, never really wanted to go back and did not like going back whatsoever, and I stopped basically in 8th grade. And then also my best friend, who was like my best friend from kindergarten through 8th grade, her mom was like extremely religious, and when my parents got divorced too, she like brought my mom a Bible and like tried to convince her, I don't know, that she was gonna go to hell if she got divorced.
What? You can't do anything without going to hell.
Literally. But now guess what? She's been divorced twice, so sucks for her.
The lady with the
and
Bible?
her daughter's gay.
The lady
Is she
with the
really?
Bible? Oh my god.
Yes. So karma's a bitch.
That's insane. But that's where I think like those sort of like moments and those sort of like things, people, one, they don't understand the effect that they have on kids.
Yeah.
And two, like, that is your own interpretation, and like that shouldn't be passed on to other people. You can pass on like, do good things, be kind, don't be judgmental, like that, you know, that like specific, like love is kind, love does not judge, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like that should be what people like pull onto, and like
The judge part.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
They're
like
so
everyone's
judgmental.
so judgmental, and it's like this is blanket statement that everyone's so judgmental, but I think it's like those are the like those should be more of the reminders, and those should be like the messages like shared with people.
Yeah.
Versus the nitty gritty like details of like how you should or shouldn't be.
And unfortunately, go ahead.
I wonder if Christianity is like more judgmental than other religions.
I think so, but I was gonna say, like, I think also that that's because those people are like the loudest. Like, my mom now has found a church that is like pro-gay, pro all the things that she believes in, where she feels comfortable, like she loves it and feels comfortable. And I've gone there a few times, and like they never said anything that I like directly disagreed with or anything like that. But like those people are less loud about it because they're not like, I need to save everyone and I disagree with what you're doing and whatnot. They're just loving and accepting. So you wouldn't really even necessarily know that they're Christian when these other people are like, I need to save you. I am a good Christian. You are a bad human. You will be going to hell. I need to save you. Like, that's just the loud people,
the loud minority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The minority is always the loud one.
Yeah. True.
It's like how Apple doesn't, their advertisements isn't attacking other phone brands, but like Android is always like, this is why we're better than Apple. But like Apple doesn't even have to mention
They don't got to do that.
Android or Samsung, you know, because they know they're not, you know, worried about it.
Yeah, my mom said the other day she was wearing a Book of Mormon shirt, like the play. Yeah. And this guy came up to her and he was like, I love that book. And she was like, I love the play.
God.
Like, awkward.
That is awkward.
Two different things.
Yeah,
I
do love that play.
Clears up also just like the conversation around like what we were saying before, and like maybe some of the things taken out of context of like what
that we
actually feel about religion, and like it's more about our experiences versus like.
Because honestly, like as I've gotten older, I feel more religious or more spiritual in whatever way because I feel way more comfortable with it, and I feel more like I've learned that not everybody is like how I grew up, and that I can still believe in an afterlife, and I believe in heaven, and I believe the things that appeal to me, I guess, or like that I want to believe, and that I want to be a good person who is loving and non-judgmental and like all of those things without having the like, you will go to hell, or if you don't say this correctly, or if you don't do these things 100% correctly. But unfortunately it's like still,
and you'll still be fine if you swear, you'll still be fine if you have sex before marriage, you'll still be fine in all of these circumstances.
Yeah, but it's like I got the sex before marriage thing like from school, even like not even just
really. But did you go like a
wise.
Christian-ish school or no?
No, I was a charter
It's
school.
a lot
so
of
it wasn't
schools
public.
teach abstinence over.
Yeah,
whatever. I think we learned about condoms in like 6th or 7th grade,
I think I did too.
and they weren't like,
or maybe it was
don't have
middle
sex.
school.
They were like, here, this is how you use a condom in 7th grade.
I literally did not like. They
Take
told
some
us
rubbers.
what condoms were, but we got in 7th grade. We got ATM cards, abstinence till marriage cards, like to put in our wallets. In 7th grade,
You're gonna whip
I do
that out?
think in 9th grade they did like the banana.
you shred it.
Yeah, in high school we got even more detail, but in 7th grade we still got the like birth control and Planned Parenthood and all that stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to make a video though to that Taylor Swift song, but I needed to ask Cameron's permission.
Why?
Because I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but Cameron had a groomsman that he grew up with that it was like one of his best friends since literally 1st grade or some shit. And he got married last year, and we went to his wedding, and they are very Christian, and her dad is like the pastor of the church. The dry wedding, no alcohol served.
I remember that.
they were not allowed to have, it was like a very much courtship type thing. They weren't allowed to text alone. They weren't allowed to go on dates alone. Like they were only allowed to be in group chats together or like have a chaperone on any date that they went on before marriage and things like that. And we were like a little weirded out by that, obviously, because like we didn't do that, but we were fully supportive of him and whatever he wanted to do and like whatever would make him happy. And
Both of their parents did that, or it was her more the girl?
More the girl's side. He's Christian. He grew up Christian, but not
that way
to that extreme level. And so Cameron asked him to be a groomsman and stuff, and he was like, I'm so honored, I'm so excited, or like I can't wait. And he's always been very supportive of us and our entire relationship.
Kids together, living together, buying a house together.
Yeah, and he knows like when we lived together in Tucson, he like came to our house all the time. Like I found a birthday card from him the other day for my 21st birthday where he was like, I love you guys so much, like I love you guys together and you're like the best together, blah blah blah. Then he calls Cam the next day and he's like, so I talked to my wife and like I'm not going to be able to be a groomsman and I'm not going to be able to attend your wedding because you guys live together and because you know that you're not supposed to live together and you're still choosing to. Because like I think like a month before he had a conversation with Cameron about like, what's your relationship with God, blah blah blah, and Cam explained to him like, I think I have a better relationship than ever and we don't go to church every week, but like I think that I'm more well connected now than I ever have been and whatnot, and I think we just interpret things differently. And so he's like, because we had that conversation and because you know what you're supposed to do and you're still actively choosing not to. Like he wanted us to like move out and stop having sex until we got married.
See, that's where I can't. You're going to let your whole life be dictated by something that you don't even have evidence is real.
Exactly. And like he, in our 7 years of dating, he dated multiple girls and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I've only slept with one person for the last 7 years of my life. And
yeah,
like
that is
slept
so
with
silly.
multiple people. Like that makes no sense.
So I'm so curious from like, did he have to go through like a re-virgining process or something? Like
I think, yeah, like you recommit or whatever to yourself. I don't know exactly how you do that.
So like it
before they got married though, he had to go through that?
Yeah, like there's literally, they've done a podcast on this. I like watched all of their podcasts and type things, but it's literally like she'll talk about him and be like, he used to be a sinner.
Wait. She has a podcast.
And so it just gets to be all erased because
she has a podcast with the church?
Yes. Her dad is like the lead pastor.
That's a church I would never want to go to.
No, it's like literally
that's the
like
sort of shit though. That's why I think the church sometimes can be so detrimental because like
it
someone
makes
goes
people
into that
not like it.
That's where it comes from. It's like, why?
Exactly. So I just feel like all those Taylor lyrics in that, it's like you're judging me so much while you were doing other things, but then suddenly like you reform yourself to God and then it's okay, which is what he said. Like if we would have moved out and like been abstinent and then decided to get married, then that would have been fine. But that
doesn't make any sense logically.
No, not at all. Not at all. But so I just feel like there's still like themes of that still come up in my life frequently, where I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the judgment whatsoever. I don't like those beliefs. I don't agree with them whatsoever.
So once you're married, are you allowed to be friends or no?
That's what I asked. I was like, oh, so are we good once we're married then? Like then we can reconform. Dumb. But no, like I will not be speaking to him. He did have a baby. Oh. She did get pregnant immediately after they got married. Of course.
First time having sex.
Literally.
Jesus Christ. You can't like enjoy sex for like a year.
Their first kiss was like at the altar.
It was?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, they weren't allowed to hold hands even.
Even Mormons are allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is very extreme. Like, this is not...
Wait, they weren't allowed to hold hands or touch?
They weren't allowed to text each other.
How did they communicate?
There had to be somebody else. It had to be a group chat or somebody chaperoning them, like, anytime they hung out.
Because you can't have any temptation.
Yeah, no temptation whatsoever. So the first time they literally hung out was after they were married.
Wait, what? Oh my god, I don't even want to know about this.
I guess he was able to get it out like all of his years of having sex.
Yeah, true. So it's like
So it's not that bad for him.
and they got married real quick, so it wasn't that long.
See,
of
like
waiting.
that's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah,
What does
and
a
then that's
freaking
also the thing when
piece
people
of
are
paper
like,
make a difference. About
yeah, when people are like the rates of divorce are lower in religion, I'm pretty sure, and it's like I think that's because people just stay
Fear.
married,
Yeah.
even when they're not happy and stuff, because they think that they'll go to hell if they get divorced.
Yeah.
You only get one life, maybe, unless there's like reincarnation or something. But as much as we are aware of, so why are you going to spend it doing these things that
Judging
make you
people.
unhappy?
Yeah,
But I guess
and
like to some degree, like people like I know that there's definitely like interviews and people that have like talked about this, like being part of a cult or being part of like a really strict religion or being part of something that like suppressed them or like didn't allow them to enjoy life to the fullest. And then after that, they like talk about the different things. And I think one person's like perspective on it was like it was easier to live within those like in that rigidity versus try and like adapt to other things, you know?
yeah. So and some people can be happier like that, and that's why it's not. We're not judging anybody, and that's why I know so many different Christians
Yeah.
that fully believe and act different ways from each other. You know,
Yeah.
like
If God really
agree.
did create everyone, then he created everyone's brains that work and think differently too. Like how I can't physically believe in a lot of this stuff, whereas some people thrive under religion like that. And, you know, like God created all these different types of people, and we have to learn how to love and live with each other, you know, like
yeah, and that's always why I think about the gay thing of like God made everybody that way.
Yeah.
God makes no mistakes.
So what?
And
Like you're
beautiful in
saying
their
in the
way.
same time, God makes no mistakes, and He made you born whichever way you are, and then in the same breath, like, but that's like a feeling that you have to suppress.
Yeah.
Just doesn't really make sense.
I don't love it.
But yeah, I think I have a good like belief system now, and I think I'm more open to like we went to church for Easter because Cameron's parents were in town and they wanted to go to church, and I'm more like open to it in doses. I'm just like quickly out if they say something that I disagree with,
Yeah.
and it's still a lot of it is like just like gives me anxiety. Like when you say anything like what you just repeated of like I think you're distancing yourself or things like that, like of just walking into church and everybody like going to shake your hand like as you enter, and then like the thing of like hug everyone around you right now, like say hello to everyone. All of those things make me so anxious, where I'm like I don't like that. It
Peace
doesn't-
be with you.
oh my god, literally. That's what
Sounds
it
like
feels
Handmaid's
like.
Tale.
It is Handmaid's Tale.
There's lots of little things like that.
May the
But-
Lord open.
I never finished Handmaid's Tale.
Oh my
I
God, you
watch that.
should.
I didn't watch like
I
the
don't
last
want.
season.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's
Once she
so
got to
good.
Canada, I was like, okay, we're good.
Oh no,
Spoiler.
more happens. You
Oh
gotta keep
no.
going.
Is it over now?
No,
Oh. Did you read the books? The books is really good. I read
no,
just
but
the
I
first
think I
and
would
second
like
book.
it. That's the kind of stuff that I do like.
It's good.
But since I've seen the show, it's like
I read it
I don't
after
know.
the first season, and I still liked it because then it was like, you know, sometimes it's like more fun after because then you can fully picture
yeah,
the way that the show is while you're reading.
yeah.
That's fun too.
But it's scary because it's just like
A
when
little
the show
surreal.
first started, it's like, oh, this could never happen, and then you're like, oh, actually,
I know.
I see
Like-
how it could happen.
Those like limiting bank accounts and stuff 1st
Mhm.
like that. Mhm.
It's slowly, yeah.
Just
If
scary.
that starts happening, though, we know now to go to Canada. Or even Mexico. It's better than.
I'm gonna go to, like,
I'll take you
Switzerland
guys
or some
in
shit.
for,
Oh, good. We have a connect.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
We have lots of places we could go.
Yeah. But obviously, like, we'll give closing thoughts or whatnot, but, like, obviously we're not going to be able to broach, like, every topic of religion whatsoever in this hour, and there's, like, a lot more to say, so if we missed out on anything or whatever, feel free to ask us if you have any clarifying questions.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's no way that we can cover every single thing or, like, accurately describe every single one of our feelings towards everything. So just know we're coming from a very non-judgmental place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Dev need to do some jumping jacks.
Doing like a handstand,
I got
getting the
mine.
blood flow to your head is helpful to give you energy. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting. I took a 4-hour nap yesterday. I literally was asleep from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Jealous.
I needed to
cannot
catch
nap.
up on sleep so much.
I'm not a great napper either.
I normally can't, but when
You
I
did the
didn't
thing.
sleep on my own for so long, I
Yeah.
napped. Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
we
well,
love you.
we love
Hopefully
you.
I didn't
We'll
offend anyone.
Yeah, we're not trying to
Review.
offend anyone.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Go join our Patreon. So glad we're friends. Patreon.com/so glad we're friends. We have bonus episodes, and we also just released our monthly member only Q&A, so you can go watch that. Devon's mom joined it. It was super fun, so make sure you do that, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.